everyone. Welcome to Strategic Sourcing Insight. Today we are diving into something that could change the way you negotiate forever. What if you could read the other side's mind and know their next move before they say a word? It's not magic, it's called neuro-procurement, a powerful mix of neuroscience and business strategy. By end of this video, you shall know how to detect hidden fears, unspoken priorities, and even overconfidence. So you can close better deals faster. Thank you. Let's begin by understanding what we really mean by buyer behavior. When someone is making purchasing decision, whether it's for office supplies or capital investment, they are not just comparing prices and specifications. They are influenced by a mix of logic, emotions, past experiences, and even subconscious biases. Buyer behavior include how they think, what they feel, and why they react the way they do during the procurement process. And the key takeaway here is if we can decode these patterns, we can craft proposals, pitches, and negotiations that align with the way buyer actually decide, not just how we think they should. In this slide, if you can see, there is three method which is depicted. One is dimensional, what it means, and the example it is given there. So for dimensions, the way they think is one is cognitive, emotional, social, and situational. So when we talk about cognitive, so first point comes in what it means by logical data, total cost of ownership, and specifications. And then what it means, example it is given that does it means the technical need. So they are first, they concentrate on technical needs of the requirements. Second is emotional. So emotional also plays a big role in purchasing decisions. One is fear, trust, loyalty, and anxiety. Third is social. Social is peers pressure, boss influence. That means my boss prefers supplier X, and it is always under pressure that we cannot go to Y supplier or Z supplier. Fourth is situational. Situational means budget constraint, urgency, and the market condition. And example for this is we need it urgently, so they have to take decision accordingly. Thank you. Let's now look at the work of Daniel Kahneman, and he's a pioneer of behavioral economics. Kahneman introduced us to system 1 and system 2 thinking. System 1 is fast, intuitive, emotional, while system 2 is slow, deliberate, and logical. In procurement, we often assume decisions that are purely rational, but in reality, system 1 dominates. That means buyer and suppliers are influenced by emotions, bias, and shortcuts. To improve our strategies, we need to recognize when system 1 is in control, pause, and engage system 2, and design procurement experiences that align with how people actually think. This shift from logic only to behavior aware unlock powerful results. Begin with Daniel Kahneman's groundbreaking concept of system 1 thinking. System 1 is fast, intuitive, emotional, and automatic. It operates effortlessly and makes quick decision judgment, often based on pattern and past experiences. For example, when you see a familiar face or complete a simple maths problem like 2 plus 2, that's a system 1 in action. In procurement and sourcing, this thinking can lead to snap decisions, biases, or overconfidence, especially in areas like supplier selection or risk assessment. While System 1 is useful in daily routines and emergencies, we must recognize its limitations in strategic decision making. This sets the stage for understanding the more deliberate System 2 thinking, which we will explore next. Now let's look at the System 2 thinking, the exact opposite of System 1. System 2 is slow, logical, deliberate, and requires mental effort. It gets activated when we solve a complex problem, analyze data, or make a strategic decisions. For example, calculating a supplier's total cost of ownership or evaluating long-term risk. These tasks demand System 2. In procurement, System 2 helps avoid biases, ensures rational evaluations, and support structured decision making. But it takes time and energy. So people often rely too much on System 1, especially under pressure. The key is to balance both systems, use System 1 for speed and engage System 2 for strategy. So summary of Daniel Kahneman's thinking model says divided into three parts. One is expect, System 1 and System 2. When we talk about expects, we will discuss on first is speed. So in System 1 it is fast and reactive, while System 2 it's a slow and deliberate. Basis in as I expect in System 1 is emotional, instinct and shortcut, while in System 2 it's a logical analysis and facts. Aspect effort, System 1 it's low, while System 2 is very high. Reliability in System 1 is often biased or inaccurate, while System 2 is more reliable and accurate. Buyer behavior in System 1, I trust this supplier, while in System 2, let's compare life cycle cost. Sales tips in System 1, win trust quickly, use social proof, while in System 2, it's support with number, data, and logic. So generally combination of System 1 and System 2 is better to work with. As buyers, we often believe we are being logical, but many of our decisions are influenced by mental shortcut and biases. These are part of System 1 thinking, fast, emotional, and automatic. Here are some common examples. One is anchoring bias, relying too heavily on the first price or number we see. Second is confirmation bias, focusing only on information that supports what we already believe. Third is availability bias, letting recent experience or headlines influence the decision. And the status quo bias, choosing what we feel familiar even if it is not the best. And the overconfidence, that is believing we know more than we actually do. All of these can lead to poor sourcing, missed opportunities, or unnecessary risk. Being aware of these biases allows us to pause and activate System 2. That's when better procurement decisions are happening. Buyer behaviors isn't always rational. It's influenced by emotions, habits, and mental shortcuts. We must decode five powerful types of buyer behavior cues. Some subtle, some obvious, and some misleading. So we have divided this slide into three category. One is cue type, second is what to look for, and what it might mean. So first is verbal cue. In verbal cue, generally we have to look for repetition of a phrase like "it seems expensive" or "we have always done this way." What it means: anchoring, risk aversion, or status quo biased. Second is non-verbal cues. Means tone of voice, body language, crossed arm, hesitation. It means emotional discomfort, resistance, or hidden objections. Third is question pattern. It means asking only about price and delivery, focused on cost, urgency, not long-term value. Then comes silence, long pauses, slow response. That means processing doubt, uncertainty, or discomfort. And last one is overconfidence, that we already know what we want. It means masking insecurity or resistance to alternative. Let's now explore the science of persuasion with Robert Cialdini's 7 principles of influence. These principles help explain why people say yes and how we can ethically guide their decisions in procurement and negotiations. First is reciprocity. People feel compelled to return a favor if we offer value first, insight, data, or support. Suppliers are likely to respond in kind. Second, commitment and consistency. Once people commit to something, they tend to stick with it. In procurement, getting small initial agreement can lead to bigger concession later. Third, social proof. People follow what others are doing, showing that other suppliers or departments have agreed to certain terms can build credibility and influence decisions. Fourth is authority. People respect credible experts quoting benchmarks, regulations, or best practices can strengthen our position and reduce resistance. Fifth, liking. People are more likely to say yes to those they like. Building rapport with suppliers or internal stakeholder is not just soft skill, it's a strategic influence. Sixth, scarcity. People value what it limited. Highlighting time sensitive opportunities or limited budget can increase urgency and decision speed. And finally, unity. People are influenced by those they feel are one of them. Creating a shared purpose with stakeholders or suppliers helps build alignment and trust. These 7 principles, when applied ethically and strategically, can amplify our influence, sharpen negotiations, and drive better outcomes in procurement. Let's move from persuasion to application. Thank you. Procurement decisions are often viewed as purely rational, driven by cost, quality, and timelines. But let's not ignore the emotional drivers that influence stakeholders and supplier alike. Emotions like trust, fear, urgency, and pride often guide decisions, even when logic says otherwise. A supplier might accept a tighter deadline not because it's profitable, but because they feel valued. A stakeholder might reject a cost saving change not due to data, but due to loss aversion or fear of failure. Our role in procurement isn't just to present fact, it's to balance logic with emotionally intelligence. We must frame data in ways that resonate emotionally, whether that's through stories, risk mitigation, or shared success. In complex deal, logic opens the door, but emotions seal the agreement. Smart procurement leaders use both, mastering the art of influencing decision by aligning fact with human motivations. Let's build strategies that appeal to both the mind and the heart. In a world flooded with the data, dashboards, and deadlines, why do some procurement decisions still miss the mark? Because procurement isn't just a logic, it's a psychology. Neuro-procurement, where neuroscience meets sourcing. So, how do we improve it? 1. Shift from price to perception. Ask yourself, what's driving this choice? Actual value or perceived value? Humans don't buy the best option, they buy what feels right. Reframe from value proposition to match how the brain prioritizes safety, simplicity, and speed. Second, train buyers in cognitive bias, anchoring overconfidence, loss aversion. Train teams to recognize and neutralize these traps. And yes, that includes overconfidence in past vendor relationships. The brain clings to the familiar even when better option exists. Third, use system 2 thinking intentionally. System 1 is fast and emotional. System 2 is slow and analytical. Build pauses in decision making. Ask, what's the emotional behind this logic? That short pause, it can prevent costly mistakes. Fourth, redesign RFX documents, make them brain friendly, use visual cues, simplify language, guide suppliers to focus on outcomes, not overload with specifications. Remember, decision fatigue is real. Fifth, frame risk or loss, not just cost. Neuroscience shows the brain reacts more to loss than gain. So instead of saying we have saved 5%, say we risk overpaying by 5% if we delay. Subtle shift, big impact. Sixth, create psychological safety in teams. When team members feel safe, they challenge assumptions, they share gut feelings, they flag red flags without fear, better decisions happen. That's a neuro procurement in action internally. Seventh, run bias check before final approvals. Ask questions like, are we favoring a vendor because of past familiarity? Are we ignoring a risk because it's uncomfortable to discuss? These questions slow the brain down and sharpens its accuracy. Neuro procurement isn't soft science, it's a smart sourcing powered by how real people actually decide. And when procurement professionals learn how the brain buys, they become more than buyers, they become decision architects. So, thank you all for staying with me through this session. We have explored how the mind works behind every procurement decision and how understanding psychology can unlock better negotiations, smarter strategies, and deeper supplier relationships. Neuro-procurement isn't just about buyer behavior, it's about transforming procurement from transactional to transformational. Let's go out there and apply what we have learned, not just close the deal, but to create real values. Thanks again, and remember the brain is the most powerful procurement tool you have. Thank you very much.